Speaker is here in chambers. Matt Stilan, come on forward. Sorry if I butchered that. Anyway, after that will be Andres Tena.
I'll come back because I want to listen to these guys.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. President. Thank you.
Good. Yourself?
Good. I'm here today to speak about an incident that occurred on April 23rd in the early morning of April 24th. This is a hit-and-run bicycle accident in downtown Los Angeles. We had a site. We were riding in a group of about 15 cyclists, and our friend Andres Tena, who will speak next, was struck by a black Hummer H3. And after the accident, cyclists attempted to speak with the driver and asked him to stop and give his insurance information. And in order to prevent us from getting his insurance information or calling the police, he drove his car through multiple cyclists who had to move out of the way in order to not be struck by the car. And then he ran over 3 bicycles, dragging them 4 blocks, block and a half down 7th Street over to Broadway, where the police then stopped him, handcuffed him, and spent. And then, after a very short investigation and refusing to take some witness statements, the police declared it an accident and released the driver. We're here to demand that the police start protecting cyclists as opposed to ticketing them only, and that they don't allow hit-and-run drivers to go and continue driving on our streets. It's not only a threat to cyclists, it's a threat to pedestrians, it's a threat to anyone who's even outside in downtown at night to have that same driver on the road. And we would ask that you guys open an investigation and find out why Officer Cho, who was the highest ranking officer that night, why they let that driver go. And if they have a good reason, well then fine, but I really don't think that they do. And we would just ask you guys to take some time to look at that and think about protecting the people who ride the streets of our city.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Andres Tena is our next speaker. After that is Krista Nicole Carlson. Yeah, hold on one second if you don't mind, Mr. Smith. Go ahead.
For those folks that are just here, it was an interesting comment to the city attorney, and I believe the city council doesn't have jurisdiction to open a police case and review it. It's under the Inspector General's responsibility at the police department. Is that correct?
Well, it is up to the police department's discretion whether to file a case or not, or whether to send that forward.
They're asking for investigation why the officer did what he did, and I don't think the council has that legal authority, but the Inspector General does. Is that correct?
That is true.
Okay.
Well, so could we make a request to the Inspector General?
That is true.
Is that within our purview?
We can do that, and I was going to suggest to the folks that they go to the police commission office, to the commission office and the Inspector General.
Yeah, we actually have opened a complaint with the Inspector
Okay,
General.
fine.
Well, and we could certainly, as a city council, request the Inspector General to look into this case. And that would be something I would like to do.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you, Andres. Go ahead, and then Krista will follow.
Hi, my name is Andres Tena, and thank you so much for your time. I was actually the person, I was the one that got hit by the H3 Hummer. It was Thursday night, Friday morning. It was really strange, though, because myself thinking that I could bicycle ride anywhere in Los Angeles and be completely safe. But next thing I know, I'm getting struck by a Hummer. On the floor, not knowing exactly what's happening, and I just hurting. I'm scared. I'm like frightened, like am I hurt? Did I break anything? Next thing you know, paramedics come. I go to the hospital, and this is just onto my awareness that the next day I just hear exactly what happened. Like they said, the Hummer was he ran over 3 bikes. He tried to get away, and not only that, even the biggest shock that I had was that they arrested him and let him go. And it's amazing how can someone be let go after you hit someone and even try to hurt more people. And it's not even that. I'm getting work done, chiropractor work, and now I'm getting even more tests done because I have a very large bruise on my left hip that's not going down. The swelling is actually getting bigger, and the bruise is spreading out. I'm actually getting a CAT scan today, and I'm really afraid that it might be something else. It might be something bigger. But I'm really just here to ask you if you could please let us bicyclists ride safe. And that's all we need, just to ride safe and just be one with the community. We are citizens. We want the respect that everybody else has. And that's all I ask for. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you for coming. Appreciate those words very much. Krista Nicole Carlson is next, and Alex Thompson will follow. Good morning.
Good morning. I live in North Hollywood, and I work in Beverly Hills, and I commute by bike every day. And I was involved in the incident with the Hummer last week, and it was very disappointing to see. There's a lot of aggression that comes from motorists towards cyclists. A lot of motorists don't understand that we do have legal right to be on the road and to have use of the lane, and when we have when we come up against that aggression with motorists, there's a lot of entitlement mentality that occurs with the motorists, and in this incident. That motorist struck one of my friends. That motorist also gunned it through our bikes, made a hard right turn from the left lane, and in the process, we scattered. 3 of the bikes were totaled. It's just astonishing to me that nobody else was hurt by that incident. I wasn't very close to the car, but I was holding my bicycle, and the car took the bike in front of me and my bicycle out from my hands. And pushed it against my legs and pulled it under it. So I was very close to very clear danger. And I can't prevent someone from being aggressive on the road, but I would definitely like the support of the city and our law enforcement to be able to have that protection. I know that as a citizen of this city, I have a right to protection, and I have a right to full enforcement of the law. And I know that the events that happened that night, it was clearly not an accident. It was clearly malicious and violent intent with which that driver did what he did. So it was very disappointing that after we had gone through all that, after we had essentially been attacked, that the officers and the officer that led the investigation conducted it with very clear bias.
If I can ask you to wrap up. We try to keep it as fair as possible with 2 minutes to the clock there.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
and it was just very disappointing to see that. I'd like to see us have the full protection of the law that we're allowed.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your comments. Alex Thompson is next. After that is Stephen Box.
My name is Alex Thompson. Today's May Day. Today's the day that a bunch of protesters got beat up by LAPD. And today we are reminded that despite many good officers in LAPD, there are things that LAPD is not good at. LAPD is not good at crowd control. LAPD is not good at civil rights. And LAPD, we're learning, is not good with cyclists. No. What are you doing about this? We haven't seen the bicycle master plan anywhere. The thing has gone AWOL. We haven't seen the Cyclist Bill of Rights recently. There are no sharrows. There are no bike lanes. All these things are just languishing in committee somewhere, not getting done. And while that's happening, while council is failing to push forward the projects that matter to cyclists, you're pushing forward proposals that are your pet projects. For example, there's a request for proposals for bike sharing, for a bike sharing program like Believe in Paris. Bike sharing? Who wants to share being the victims of a hit and run and then being told you're at fault by LAPD?
Not me. Not me. Not any of us.
I'm sick of a council that's unresponsive to our needs, and I think that you need to listen to what cyclists have said is important to them and advance those issues. Bias policing is priority #1 for cyclists, and that's why we're here. Do something about it, and do something now. Thank you.
Stephen Box is our next speaker. After that is Roadblock.
Stephen Box, I live in Hollywood, and I'm a cyclist. You know, when we ride, we get screamed at, we get honked at, we get spit on, we get things thrown at us, and still we ride. We get squeezed, we get pushed, we get run off the road, and still we ride our bikes. We're transportation.